Okay, so the questions I have, so I'm just going to be asking you is, Peter, if you can recall back 3 years ago when I first went to you, can you remember what my behaviour or my self-esteem was like when I first met you?
Yeah, well, when I first met you, Pamela, I would say that your first part of that question, your self-esteem was low and dependent upon a third person's judgment. What I mean by that is you had put your identity into what others thought of you, because at that point in time I don't think you felt very highly of yourself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the trouble with putting your identity in the holds of others is it's outside your control. Yeah. And even if things improve massively inside yourself and your own self-worth, you can't take back that judgment of others. So what I taught you back then was to regain your identity within your identity based on your values, not somebody else's expectations or wishes. Just you be yourself.
Okay, brilliant. And can I ask you, when I approached you to mentor me, Peter, were my goals clear, crystal clear to you at when I first went to you?
Yes, but you had, to be frank, I think you had to ask about. Yeah. I said to you from the outset, romance is not something to pursue; it is a byproduct of being. Yeah. So the life that we lead is about being a human being, not about being a human doing. And you were back then, you were very busy on the doing, but not so much on the being. And what I got you to do was to forget this romance business, to forget this man business, and take some time out from that to get in touch with yourself and your own values. Because there's nothing sexier than a chick who knows themselves. You know, they say that happiness is progress. But in order to articulate progress, you need to know what progress looks like. And then go about doing it. And that's where being is more important than doing. Yeah?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. And also, back then, I was telling you that I had free agents in my life, or friends with benefits, as many single women would know. Were they really preventing me from finding my well, I think they were, weren't they? When I look back on it now, were they just obstacles I was putting in my way, distractions for finding my do you think I would have found my Mr. Right a lot sooner, Peter, if I had not had free agents in my life?
Yeah, well, a couple of different ways of asking the same question. They were definitely blocking you from finding a Mr. Right. They were band-aids for an ulcer which needed to be cured, and ulcers can only be cured if you get the antibiotics working inside your venal system, into your cardiovascular system, into your heart, to you. Because what you were doing was, yeah, you were placating, basic sexual desires with being met by, friends with benefits. But that, to be honest, that was nothing short of prostitution, really. You're selling yourself short. And you might recall, as your coach, I banned you from having any communication with some of them just so you could regain your identity. Yeah? Yeah? Because men are men. I mean, men will make you feel will make you feel fantastic.
Yeah.
For a short while, but you got to see where they're coming from, and it mightn't always be that honourable. You there? Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. So you broke up on me. Yeah.
And then the next part of that conversation is that once you own your identity, nobody can take it from you. But when you're a bit wishy-washy and you're trying to find Mr. Right, well, that even the language is wrong, because you don't find Mr. Right. It's about the beings being together. Yeah, that's an oxymoron. It's like if I said to you, try and take this thing out of my hand. Well, you can't, because the word try means you don't succeed. So again, it comes back to being authentic. being your authentic self, because nothing is sexier than a woman who knows their shit.
Yeah. And just my last question, Peter, for all the single ladies that are going to be looking at this footage, what's the first tip you could give a single woman in helping them find the right match or true love?
Well, the first trip to the manifestation of anything is having a the first step towards the manifestation of anything you really, really want, your heart's desire, is to be really, really clear on what it is you wish for. Yeah. Now, when I say be clear, I don't mean specifically in terms of what that person looks like or what they do for a job, but more about the values that they bring to the table. Yeah. And then what you need to do is you need to trust the universe to bring this thing into your energy field on what they call, on God's time, not your time, which might be quite different to your time. And this is where human beings get it wrong time and time again, because we impose our human time zones, which might be quite different to what the universe is thinking about. Yeah. So the first thing is get clarity. That's the most important thing. Get clarity. Because the item will appear proportional to how clear you are on that. Then you need to be busy on being yourself. And when you're talking or having an exchange with somebody, whoever they may be, if they're ugly or tall or fat or short or whatever, it doesn't matter. Just be there. Be absolutely present in that moment, because you don't know for a second what their brother looks like. So be present, and that men find that really attractive. And I'll tell you the opposite. Men find a chick who's always looking over their shoulder for somebody else really unattractive. Yeah? And nothing drives a guy away more than the scent that the woman is on the look. Right? So that's the oxymoron, that she needs not to be on the look. She needs to be really content within herself. And that's where it's so important to do what you did with me, is to get that third person, to get that coaching, to really get it clearly mapped out. Who am I? What are my values? What do I stand for? And what do I not stand for? What is not important to me? What things are not important to me? What people are not important to me? Therefore, I've narrowed it down to an area where I can get clarity and focus. And the more you have clarity and focus, the more those things, people, items, whatever, will appear in your life. Okay?